Good morning. I'm Harley Schlanger from the LaRouche organization with your daily video update for January 30th, 2025. Today is the day of the hearings in the U.S. Senate to take up the confirmation of Tulsi Gabbard to be head of the Director of National Intelligence and Kash Patel to be FBI Director. As we've been reporting, these are absolutely crucial appointments given the direction of the world toward war based on the corruption of the intelligence community in the United States, which is acting not on behalf of your interests, but on behalf of the corporate cartels of the military-industrial financial complex, for whom war is the only option now to preserve and protect their empire. Now, there's an incredible mobilization going on by the military-industrial complex to try to defeat their nomination. The oligarchs of the cartels feel very threatened by these two individuals. So they're shouting from the rooftops, they cannot be confirmed. But yesterday and today, we had a deployment of activists in support of their nominations from the LaRouche organization and from activists who wish to join us. And we've saturated the Congress with the pamphlet, The Liars Bureau, to show exactly who and why there's opposition to Gabbard and Patel. Now, to give you a sense of how intense the opposition is, there were articles in the New York Times and 2 articles in The Economist, the publication of the City of London, that reflect the terror and fear that their control of an international assassinations bureau is going to be exposed, and as a result, they'll lose their control. And the release, the order by President Trump to release the classified documents, the remaining classified documents on the assassinations of John F. Kennedy and Robert Kennedy, as well as Martin Luther King, opens the door to provide a window into these operations, which include cover-ups as well as the actual assassinations. Now, it's hard to know what will be in the remaining records. Probably they've been scrubbed and it's not clear what we might find. But the point is that the Director of National Intelligence, which would be Gabbard, would be the person reviewing the documents. And what she no doubt would find is that there are traces of evidence that the U.S., along with the United Kingdom, have been running an international assassination bureau. And this would not just be exposed, but broken up. Now, when we say International Assassination Bureau, we mean that there have been killings carried out, many over the years. Just recently, though, the attempt against Fico, the Prime Minister of Slovakia, the attempt against Donald Trump, possibly 2 attempts against him. And according to Budyanov from the Ukrainian Secret Service, there have been attempts against Putin as well. Now, what's the goal of this International Assassination Bureau? It's to take out leaders who are opposed to the idea of the destruction of the sovereign nation state, that the idea of national sovereignty is in opposition to the unipolar order which the Assassination Bureau works to defend. And this is a global order, not of sovereign states, but of essentially slave states that act on behalf of the global cartels that are running an overall, you might say, a world government. Now, what we have to take a look at, and what, once you get beyond the overview, what Gabbard and Patel will find is that there exists a structure which has this as its goal. And the weapons they have besides assassination, first of all, start with the surveillance state. This has been exposed by people such as Bill Binney, especially Edward Snowden, and it's been lied about by people opposing the nomination, like James Clapper, the former director of national intelligence, who lied to the Congress saying that there's no collection of data by the National Security Agency. Well, it was a complete lie. Where was his accountability? Never. The operation, the deep state operation, includes censorship through the media cartel, and now that includes Silicon Valley. Threats and blackmail, that's the purview of the FBI. J. Edgar Hoover was the expert in that, threatening people to stick with the line or else. And this included sexual blackmail and other kinds of attacks. The launching of color revolutions, of regime change, the false flags that lead to war through provocation, economic warfare, sanctions. All of these are tools of this oligarchy that are deployed to stop the organization of a system outside of the control of the international banks and financial institutions. That's what this fight is all about, really. It's not just about who's the biggest, meanest, toughest kid on the block. And sometimes that's what Donald Trump sounds like he's trying to do, make himself the biggest, toughest kid on the block. No, the more important question is which nations will contribute to a world in which all nations' needs can be met, and not through giveaways, but through economic development, a development architecture and a security architecture which guarantee all nations will have the rights and freedoms to advance and do so in policy or commitment to mutual benefit. That's the idea of the Peace of Westphalia, which Helga Zepp-LaRouche has been so insistent in saying should be the basis of any kind of global governance. And instead of global governance, it should be sovereign states who work together through international institutions or multilateral institutions, as opposed to get dictated to. And if you get out of line, wham, you get hit. Now, here's the question. If the rules-based order is so good, then why does it need these capabilities? And if the actions of the international community are so good, then why are they afraid of Tulsi Gabbard and Kash Patel? Now, let me just give you a little bit of a sense from the Economist's articles to attack them. And you can be sure this will be in the hands of every single Democrat presiding over the hearings. On January 28th, the article in The Economist was titled, "How Tulsi Gabbard Became a Crusader Against the Deep State." The next day, which is yesterday, The Economist had an article warning, quote, "Kash Patel is a crackpot. Is he also a menace?" they ask. Now, basically their fear is that Gabbard will clean out the intelligence community. And they say that there were 2 executive orders signed by Trump that require that the new Director of National Intelligence undertake, quote, "a sweeping review of the intelligence community's activities during the Biden administration to identify the people who weaponized intelligence or interfered in domestic politics, and to take disciplinary action, including dismissal, against offenders." That's what they're afraid of. Their networks are about to be cleaned out and brought under the observation, not just of the international press, but of the courts. Now, on Patel, they say that the biggest problem is that he believes that America's law enforcement has been in the FBI, in the hands of people who are using it to suppress political opposition. In particular, Russiagate. Patel was an expert on what happened with Russiagate. Now, they accuse him of being a conspiracy theorist. Well, the evidence shows there was a conspiracy, including the Obama intelligence community, the FBI, the CIA, working together with the media, with the Hillary Clinton campaign, and with British intelligence. You don't want to call it a conspiracy? Fine. It was coordinated actions aimed at what? Stopping Trump from moving in and exposing what they were doing. So, the articles in The Economist make it clear that their fear is that their game is up. Now, there's still time for you to act to help confirm Gabbard and Patel. There's time to call your senators. The votes are probably not going to happen today. They'll probably take place over the next week to 10 days. But your senators need to hear from you today. And then read the Liars Bureau dossier we put together, which exposes these guys, what they're trying to do, and why they're afraid of the confirmation of Trump's hand-picked choices, Tulsi Gabbard and Kash Patel. This is a time for action, a time for clear understanding of what's at stake. So take the time, read our report, and make the calls. Thanks for joining me. Tomorrow is Friday, so I'll take your questions and comments. Send them to me at harleysch@gmail.com. And don't be so shy. Get involved in the discussion. Let's use this as an opportunity to flesh out some of the concerns and confusions that are out there.